Hello, good afternoon. You're watching ZTN News Blitz. I'm Chigubhu. Let's take a look at the headlines. Authorities to act on price hikes. WHO sounds polio measles warning to Zimbabwe. Male high heels pastor causes stir. And in sport, Dynamo's 4 points better than class of 2014. Recent price increases in Zimbabwe have stung the rich and poor alike. At the same time, the foreign currency exchange rate has hit a record high. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe's formal forex rate is 160, while on the black market it has already breached the $400 mark. To make it worse, inflation has jumped 9.2% to 15% this month alone. To this end, authorities say strategies are currently in place to tame the tide. Vice President Constantino Chiwenga speaks.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has moved to curtail research and price increases in the economy and stabilize the volatile parallel market exchange rate through increasing interest rates and further cutting down the quarterly targets for money supply growth. These measures demonstrate government's desire to stem further price increases.
Meanwhile, economist Professor Gift Mgano believes authorities should consider re-dollarizing the economy and then establish a roadmap for de-dollarization. Dr. Prosper Chitambara has a similar view to that of the central bank.
My own personal view is that I think at this point in time, going either extreme of full dollarization or the other extreme of going back to the Zim dollar may not be optimal. I think what we need to do is to correct some of the distortions that have already been talked about with respect to the current auction system. Of course, the IMF has also talked about these distortions, and of course CZI has also made mention of these. And I think these distortions are also giving rise to currency manipulation, which has seen the widening in the black market premium.
Still with the economy, ZITF company chairman Abusisa Moyo says the COVID-19 pandemic has somewhat come as a blessing in disguise as local products now dominate the market.
The green shoots are that our shelves, 75 to 85% of our shelves are stocked with locally manufactured products. The green shoots are that there is construction of roads and other infrastructure that is going on. The green shoots are that last year we recorded almost 10 billion United States dollars in foreign currency inflows.
The World Health Organization says Zimbabwe must scale up routine immunization to avoid a resurgence of diseases such as measles and polio. The global health body warns of a looming threat from measles and polio, among other such diseases. World Health Organization country representative Dr. Alex Gasasira speaks.
Zimbabwe was making very good progress toward its targets before the COVID-19 pandemic. By the end of 2019, virtually all routine immunization coverages against the common childhood illnesses at national level was very close to 90 in Zimbabwe, 90%, which is the target. Unfortunately, as a result of the disruptions to delivery of essential services, including immunization services in the country, that happened in the last 2 years because of the disruptions caused by the pandemic, we have seen this very good performance begin to be reversed. We are seeing in the country lower number of children being vaccinated. We are seeing some districts achieving immunization coverage as low as 60%.
The COVID-19 pandemic, climate change as well as geopolitical conflicts have posed food security concerns around the world. In light of this, Zimbabwe is intensifying irrigations to ensure food security. The plan aims to put at least 50,000 hectares annually. However, the ultimate goal is to put 350,000 hectares under irrigation by 2025. The project will be funded by the government and the private sector. Zimbabwe's Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development Minister, Dr. Anxious Masuka, speaks.
We currently have three sources of finance. The first is the government, the fiscus itself financing. Then we have partners that have come on board with the International Finance Development Agency, IFAD. We have FAO. We also have what we have recently put together, a private sector consortium under the Irrigation Development Alliance, which seeks to unlock financing in banks to be able to mobilize resources to accelerate the irrigation agenda.
Zimbabwe Farmers Union Secretary General Paul Zakaria agrees. He says farmers must invest in the sector.
Your irrigation is required, be it smallholder, large scale, your irrigation is required now. The signs have been very clear over the years. The writing is on the wall and we need to respond. The government should provide that conducive legislation and policy environment that will help our farmers to then invest in what is required, and in this particular case, irrigation or moisture conserving methods.
On this year's food security, Dr. Masuka said the crop assessment report will be made public in due course.
The second round of crops, livestock and fisheries assessment is conducted from the end of February through to mid-March, and the results are out in April. In fact, the results came out yesterday, and they will be presented to you, I think, shortly, as soon as government has gone through the necessary processes. So at this stage, I can't preempt what that report contains. Suffice to say that we are looking forward to some improvements in the cropping situation because of the recent rains that we have received in April.
Still on agriculture, the ongoing Zimbabwe International Trade Fair has witnessed an increase in exhibitors, according to the organizers. But one particular stand has drawn attention, especially from farmers. According to the Agritech's department, over 600 farmers have registered for hydroponics training in just 2 days at the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development stand. But what is hydroponics? And why is it attracting the attention of farmers? A farmer identified as Patisani who underwent hydroponics training explains.
So hydroponics is one of the way that we're doing our smart farming. We're producing volumes in tiny spaces. I myself am based in a high density suburb. I always had the idea that if for you to farm, you need space, you need a farm. But with hydroponics, it opened my eyes to another way of farming. I'm actually utilizing the small backyard space that I have and making a living out of hydroponics in a short amount space of time. That is basically hydroponics. The market, most people ask, can people, how is the market for hydroponics? Most people do want organic food.
Zimbabwe's Information and Publicity Permanent Secretary Nick Mangwana says all countries should follow international norms and pay respect to international institutions. Speaking at the United Nations 2022 International Day of Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace yesterday, Mangwana said countries should work together to make the world a better place.
I would like to reinforce the need to resolve conflicts through peaceful resolutions and through peaceful means. So the idea is that countries should always seek solutions through peaceful means such as diplomacy, negotiations, arbitration, and so on, or two countries. So in this particular case, we are saying we are celebrating or commemorating multilateralism, of which if we come to our regional, sub-regional, or at the international stage, we would say the United Nations is a multilateral institution. SADC is a multilateral institution, though it's sub-regional. And of course, the AU, the African Union, is another multilateral institution, but it's a regional institution in that regard.
Speaking on the same occasion, United Nations resident and humanitarian coordinator Edwin Kalon said leaders should work to address challenges facing the world, such as climate change.
We have an overarching responsibility of protecting human rights, addressing global threats, including climate change, the COVID-19 pandemic, issues of terrorism, and transnational criminal networks, and also promote what we are calling an inclusive approach to development.
A 59-year-old woman from Koba in Gweru is counting her losses after thieves disarmed her vehicle's locking system and drove away. The woman, Joanne Marimbe, had parked her white Nissan hardbody at Gweru Townhouse parking lot when thieves pounced on Monday. Acting Midlands Provincial Police spokesperson Assistant Inspector Ethel Mukwende said police are searching for the suspects.
Police is investigating a case of theft of a motor vehicle which occurred at Gweru Townhouse. We appeal to members of public to ensure that they have secured their vehicle prior to leaving them and never they're parking them. We also urge people to come forward with any information that might lead to the recovery of the vehicle and the arrest of the culprits.
A 15-year-old boy died on the spot and 4 other people escaped with varying injuries when a Honda Fit they were traveling in collided with another vehicle at an intersection along the Kwekwe-Gokwe Road on Wednesday morning. Acting Midlands Provincial Police spokesperson Assistant Inspector Ethel Mkwende gives us more on the details of the fatal crash.
Langton Tekede, a male aged 39 years, was driving a Honda Fit along Kwekwe-Gokwe Road towards Kwekwe with 5 people on board. Upon approaching the 1 kilometer peg, Paspanoj Gapita was driving yet another vehicle, failed to give way and at an intersection and hit Tekede's vehicle by the door. Tekede's vehicle veered off the road, overturned once and landed on its wheels. Robert Tedekede died on the spot whilst 4 others suffered varying injuries.
Decades ago, Zimbabwe's gospel musicians were known for very boring productions, especially when it came to videos. The Harare Gardens were the go-to area for most yesteryear artists. However, times have changed. Janet Manyowa, Tekshore Zamangube, Michael Mahendere, and Zim Praise have taken creativity to new levels. Joining this list of game changers is a group called The Vine, which was established in 2015. On Saturday, the group records a live DVD recording at the HICC titled The Great Physician. Takuch Hambakwe gives us more on that.
Talk of class and sweet ministry, then you're referring to The Vine. The way the group pays attention to detail, regards musicality, is inimitable. Group founder Everton Malalazi shares the vision of The Vine.
What happened is in 2014, we thought, sat down with a few friends and I thought, look, we've been singing and all our music is predominantly a cappella without instruments. Why don't we, put accompaniment to our music?
On Saturday, April 30, the group records a 12-track DVD at the Arara International Conference Center, which has a very interesting mix of local and international acts, including Grammy Award-winning outfit Soweto Gospel Choir.
But our band is a good mix of our local guys and South African guys. So you see Jose Sax, You will see Tariji Fingers, you will see Naftali on the bass, I think Carvin as well. And then from South Africa, Begum Tetwasbu, and a guy called Thomas who I believe is a magician on percussion. Yeah.
However, for all this to take shape, the Vine team had to tap into the genius brains of award-winning producer Nigel Nyagombe.
Working with Mr. Everton Lolazi has been a great experience for me. I've been learning quite a lot. It's been 9 years now, close to 9 years, and I've been writing music for the Vine and producing. And also Mr. Mlalazi just started his solo career recently and he's been doing extremely well.
He also shared his experiences of working with top global icons on this project.
And on our upcoming album, The Great Physician as the Vine, I thought of having Soweto Gospel Choir. It was just in my mind. I was like, is Mr. Mlalazi gonna approve this? Then he said, yes, let's make that happen. And we engaged Soweto Gospel Choir. I met the management, the choir, the amazing people. But writing music and arranging for them was a bit tough because these are Grammy Award-winning artists, and I was so much under pressure, asking myself, are they gonna love this? But thank God they did.
Meanwhile, Mlalazi has highlighted that he wants to make this live DVD recording an annual event which features both local and international acts, as is the case with South Africa's joyous celebration.
We aim to release an album and also do a live recording annually, just like what our friends down south do. I mean, our own Zimpraise has been doing so well in that regard. We shout out to Jose, doing a fantastic job on that. And we've seen choirs, doing Joyful Praise, doing extremely well. I know in Blawa there was Harvest House, So it's we're not inventing the wheel, to be honest.
Everywhere Clive Chigubhu performed, he had the crowds literally eating out of his hand, serving witty jokes and hilarious theatrics which could rouse even the faintest senses of humor. He once remarked, "Science teaches us how the world was made. The Bible teaches us how to find joy in that world. Comedy welcomes us to the joy." And through his comedy, people found joy. But that joy was on Tuesday snuffed out by cancer. Chigubhu succumbed to diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, a type of non-Hodgkin lymphoma. He was 31 when he dropped his mic one last time, and condolence messages keep pouring in from colleagues, fans and other art stakeholders. We hear from fellow comic Butis.
Saddened so much by the passing away of Clive Chigubhu. I would like to say the entertainment flag is flying at half-mast today. Chigubhu was an entertainer par excellence. He had mastered the game of comedy. Unfortunately, we wanted to raise funds for him with our medication. Like I said, very unfortunate. We woke up to the sad news of his passing. So we had themed the show Saved by Laughter.
Doc Vikela, another comedian, offers his condolences.
I've known Clive Chigubhu for over a decade now, getting into the industry. He was already there. He was no comedian would ever want to perform after Clive Chigubhu. He was our headline act. At the show, you'd know that Clive was going last. No one had ever had the guts ever He was such a brilliant actor. He was so talented, and this is a loss for the whole industry. We are on Tuara. He always led the line, and now he has led also to go and make sure that he sets the stage for us. He was our headline act, and he's going to make sure that it's said. I can't even say anything to him, sorrow, because of But I feel like there has always been the rhetoric of professionalizing the industry, trying to, I just feel like the day we have a proper industry where things function, even certain things that we can't even talk about, like the issue of medical aid, the issue of the economy.
National Arts Council of Zimbabwe spokesperson Rodney Ruwende also paid his tribute.
It is on a sad note that we have received the news of the death of comedian Clive Chigubhu. Clive, as you might be aware, is a former recipient of the National Arts Merit Awards for for outstanding comedy that he won some time ago. Clive represented the very best of Zimbabwean talent, and it is quite sad that he has passed on before he reached his full potential.
As has become the trend in Zimbabwe's local arts industry, performing artists like the late Chigubhu often endure a solitary and painful final battle, often deserted by friends and fellow artists and no finances. Could this be time for arts players to set up a benefit fund that can cushion artists against such eventualities? Family spokesperson Babonyiles Konjwa speaks.
I was saying this goes to show about the importance of setting up unions and organizations. Because what happens is if all of us contribute to that fund, then that fund will take care of us as we're going. So it's really high time now we all sit down and consider ourselves and say, no, when the sun is shining and you're popular, let us be contributing to a particular fund so that that fund can take care of us in times of need. But we've had other artists who are less popular who people will not be keen to donate to because they're not as popular as Clive. Yes, so what we need to now is to make sure that everyone gets the same treatment, so long as if an artist joins a particular organization, whatever that organization will be, we all contribute and it all takes care of us.
Till we meet again, Chigubhu, Ageye. Moving on, the Central African Republic has adopted Bitcoin as an official currency, becoming the first country in Africa and only the second in the world to do so. A bill governing the use of cryptocurrency was adopted unanimously by Parliament last week. A Togolese pastor is causing a stir. The clergyman preaches wearing high heels. According to the high heels pastor, as he has become known, God instructed him to start wearing heels after years of praying for a cure for unbearable body aches. A new 6-monthly blood pressure injection could replace a daily tablet if a groundbreaking UK study proves successful. Scientists are testing the approach in what they say is the world's first in high hypertension. High blood pressure could be treated. Russia says it is not fighting against the Ukrainian people as it tries to minimize civilian casualties and damage to civil infrastructure in Ukraine. Russian Senator Andrei Klimov speaks.
Хотим минимизировать потери мирного населения, мы хотим минимизировать разрушение гражданской структуры Украины. Мы не воюем с украинским народом. Это очень важно знать всем. Это славянский народ. У меня у самого там много друзей и родственников на Украине. Мы не воюем с друзьями и родственниками. Эти санкции, которые они против нас применяют, гораздо больнее отзываются на них самих. Прежде всего, основной вот этот контрудар.
Up next is sports news. underdog leaders Dynamis mean business after 12 games in 2014 when they last won their league titles. They had collected only 22 points compared to the 26 they had collected so far. The class of 2021 and 2022 has been ruthless, and after their 1-0 win over Manica Diamonds, coach Tonderai Ndiraya praised his defense, which has so far conceded only 4 goals compared to 6 in 2014.
After scoring, we had the results in our pockets, so we just had to manage the game, manage things until the final whistle. But I'm happy with the ship. Of course, first half we were pushing, wanted a goal, we got a goal. We kept it. Second half, it was just a matter of managing the game. We did that.
In other fixtures set for this weekend, Yada starts round 13 with a clash against Triangle at the National Sports Stadium on Friday. Champions FC Platinum faces Herentals at the same venue on Saturday, while on Sunday, Giants Highlanders face second-placed Chicken Inn at Barberfield Stadium in what is a massive clash. On the same day, Caps United, who have been struggling for consistency, face Cranbourne at the National Sports Stadium. Women in sports leadership have been challenged to take up more responsibility and excel in their various areas. The country this week, through a partnership between the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee and the University of Chichester, hosted the second edition of the Women in Sport Leadership Academy workshop. Our reporter Chino Manua spoke to the lead facilitator of the program, Dr. Lombe Mwamba from Zambia, at the conclusion of the workshop today.
For the bigger picture, Whistler contributes to the women's abilities to support other women, other people in their organizations so that they too can step up. What we try to do is to build a collective so that the sector has an environment where everybody can thrive. So we offer them the tools, we offer them the resources, we offer them the network, not just amongst themselves here in Zimbabwe, but they are joining over 350 women around the world who have been through Whistler as well since we started in 2014.
Co-facilitator Betty Lally from South Africa called the workshop a huge success.
I must say that it was an amazing week, and we kind of reached our goals for this week because we're not looking only at the participants, but we're also looking at participants and also grooming facilitators that are going to do Whistler in the coming times.
And that's all we had for you. For these and other stories, connect with us on our socials. On Twitter, it's @ZTN News, and Instagram, as well as Facebook's Zimpapers television network. Up next is World in 5.